I'm Pat Mayo with your Week 2 DraftKings picks, cheap receiver edition, because the expectation this week is you're going to pay for one of these stacks. They're going to be expensive. You might not be able to get up to McCaffrey, Cook, or even Alvin Kamara at this point based on how much you've spent on your stack, so you're probably going to need to save money at wide receiver. That is the most logical drop-down point because there are some pretty good options down in the Week 2 salaries for the main slate on DraftKings. So if we just start at $5,000 and look below, you got Jamar Chase at $5,000. It's a pretty good price. But as we continue to go down, no more Will Fuller. So you have Jalen Waddle again against the Bills in what's probably going to be a very positive passing game script. Not the best option, but still very cheap when it comes down to it. We also have Marvin Jones, $4,700, 6-point dogs at home against the Denver Broncos. Tougher matchup, but there's going to be a lot of garbage time in this game. And even on the other side of the ball, you have Tim Patrick at $4,600. Made an impact filling in for Jerry Jeudy on the outside. Both Patrick and KJ Hamler at $3,800 could find their way into your lineup. No questions asked. They are positive salary savers. Now, all of these guys are definitely not safe. That's why they're down in this pricing range. However, they have substantial upside in all of their spots. And listen, they give you access to all the best players on the slate. So even if you have to take two of them, I still think it is worth the significant gamble that goes through them. $4,500, you have Jamison Crowder returning from the COVID-19 list for the Jets. It's not the best matchup against the Patriots, but if you want to attack the Patriots over the field, over the middle of the field, short, easy completions. We saw the way that Zach Wilson favored the tight ends and Braxton Berrios a week ago. That's because no Jamison Crowder was on the field. Those are easy completions. Crowder, a very good slot man. He's really good when he plays. He just doesn't play all that often, and there's a very cheap price when it comes down to him as well. As we keep scrolling down the list, listen, Marquez Callaway busted for everyone last week. That's why we suggested you play Deontay Harris in that spot at 1/30th the ownership. Now, no one wants Marquez Callaway. He's still only $4,200 in a much better spot against the Carolina Panthers. You can go back and gamble with him, and maybe he can end up doing the scoring to take away from some of the chalk that is Alvin Kamara in this spot. Just look for different ways to attack with that Saints offense, and it could be Callaway once again at $4,200 a week after he was the ultimate chalk. Everyone wanted to play him. Now, no one wants him. That's not bad news. I mentioned KJ Hamler. You also have KJ Osborne for the Minnesota Vikings, $300 in a pass-happy script against the Arizona Cardinals. Cedric Wilson is sort of the obvious low-end choice this week as he's filling in for Michael Gallup. He's going to be very popular, as is Donovan Peoples-Jones for the Browns. You have the Schwartz. He is a bit banged up. Odell, he's not playing, so we're going to get probably over 80% of the snaps for Donovan Peoples-Jones against the Houston Texans this week as a huge favorite with Cleveland. He doesn't need a lot of targets to make fantasy points happen with his extended ADOT down the field. But here's the kicker. He's $3,000. He is the min you can be at wide receiver. He's the best points per dollar projected play of the week, even better than Cedric Wilson. So if you really want to save the money, although you might have to eat a little bit of chalk, not overwhelming chalk, he's not going to be super duper popular. Donovan Peoples-Jones makes almost any lineup work as your last man in, the third wide receiver for $3,000. So I think that is the suggested route this week.